Hello and welcome to the Northeast Ohio Media Group Candidate Debates. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mara Zurich. Today we're hosting a debate for Brooklyn City Council up for election November 5th. Three of the candidates, Councilman Ron Van Kirk, Tony DeMarco, and Andy Sauhertz, could not be here this evening. So we'll be doing something a little bit different from a traditional debate. Instead, we'll have the challenger introduce herself and answer a few questions. Ms. Paultizky, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, my name is Barb Paultizky, and I'm running for council at large in the city of Brooklyn. I've been a Brooklyn resident for 44 years, and like many people, have raised a family in my home and have many memories of a lifetime that I don't want to lose. As a taxpayer, I spent years paying taxes, expecting that when I got older, I would be able to have the city services that were available to people before. However, that's no longer true. If you have children, they may not be available. They may be out of state. They may be disabled themselves. We are expected to ask our neighbors and friends to come to our rescue. I really believe the city should be doing that. My decision to run was because many people said, we need a new face. We need a senior in council. Well, I've been a senior for years, and I'm certainly a new face because I've never been in politics before. So I think I qualify. If I'm elected, I will work toward restoring these services to seniors, and I will also be available to talk about other issues. If anybody calls me, they will get an answer from me within 24 hours, even if it's only to say, I don't know, but somebody does, and I will ask questions, and I will get back to you. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much. All right, let's kick off the questioning with an issue that seems to have sparked a lot of concern in the community, the loss of American Greetings to the city of Westlake. So was raising the income tax to 3% the right decision?
Just my opinion, no. It's not only that it wasn't the right decision, it was handled in an unprofessional way. American Greeting, world headquarters, were known all over the world as world headquarters. I will be so sad when that sign comes down eventually. The income tax increase, I believed it was 2.5%, not 3%. The former administration really had no respect for the employer that employed 33% of the income tax base in the city. They never told American Greeting what they were going to do. American Greeting found it out after it had happened. Okay. Were they going to leave anyway? Many people say that. But with the circumstances as they were, we'll never know.
Okay. So along the same lines of pretty much this topic here, American Greetings, the income tax revenues, it was making a big chunk of the city's budget. Absolutely. So what can be done to make up that loss?
Well, in June, the end of June 2014, a company of developers named Lichter and Semjarian bought that 150-acre property. At this point, American Greeting is renting space from them, and they plan to renovate some other space. They plan to build retail. They plan to build industrial. How long will it take for us to actually recoup to the point where American Greetings leaving is? None of us know. But hopefully, in the future, it will be better.
Would you support raising taxes to offset the loss of American Greetings? And why or why not?
Well, I always look at taxes this way, the way I look at my own budget. And I say, what do I need? And I'm going to address that first. Then the next question is, what do I need to save? And I address that next. And then, what do I want? And if we do that, maybe there's a possibility that we don't have to raise taxes. But if we do, and it's put on the ballot, the voter has the right to say yes, the right to say no. So ultimately, the voter's in charge.
All right. So along those lines also, what financial changes do you think that you as a council person could make if elected?
In the same mode, I would say we need to look at things that are needed, not things that we want, and try and tighten our belts like everybody is doing in the city of Cleveland and everywhere else.
Okay. All right. So moving on to wider topics, Brooklyn is a smaller city of about 11,000.
Right.
What can it do to regionalize and share services with surrounding towns?
At this point, the police department is regionalizing for their 911 calls. They're also sharing fire department plans. I don't know what else we could do at this point, but I think we might be able to share service departments eventually. Again,
Okay.
those are things that we'll have to look at as the money doesn't become available.
Okay, so the regional dispatch center that'll be shared with Parma and Parma Heights, was that the right move for Brooklyn?
I think so.
Okay, great. So do you support raising taxes to build a new police station? And if so, would you favor renovating the current location or building a new one?
All right, police station. Flooding, sometimes sewer backup, and storms have been happening with more frequency since about 2007. Minor flooding is handled by our service department, but major flooding is handled by outside contractors, which cost a lot of money. I've seen the police department, and there are approximately 11,000 square feet with 33 full-time police officers. That is not enough space. Renovation would be thought of as an example is if it costs 50% more to renovate than it does to build new. It's more expedient to build new because then you don't have to worry for years. So I don't know if we can renovate or if we have to move on and do something else. But I believe these police officers who put their lives on the line every day for us need a safe environment to live in. Not only that, and I don't know how many people know this, the jail. It is out of compliance for several years now with approximately 60 of 300 codes mandated by the state of Ohio. So if a prisoner, for example, gets sick or has a problem, because they don't have sufficient lighting, because they don't have sufficient ventilation, we could be held responsible and the city could be sued for that. So that's another consideration.
Okay, so would you support raising taxes to fund a new police station?
If that was the only alternative.
Okay.
But maybe there are other alternatives. Until I get on council, which I have never been on before, I don't know the answer to that.
All right, all right. So Brooklyn has been the location for a lot of rumors about a new IKEA store. What can the city do to draw in big-name businesses like IKEA?
Well, first of all, until the Army Corps of Engineers allows IKEA to even consider building, I don't know that there's any answer, and I think it's premature to say who are we going to bring in until we know whether or not wetlands can be made available for them to be able to do that.
Well, not even just that property, just in general, what can the city do to market itself to be attractive to new businesses, to draw in, say, businesses to fill up the American Greetings campus?
Actually, I believe Lichter and Samaritan are the people that will be doing that. We will most likely do whatever we can, whether it is to give them tax abatement or other things to make it attractive. But all cities are vying for business, and it is a difficult situation.
Competitive game.
Competitive game.
All right, well, that's all the questions that we have tonight for Brooklyn City Council candidate Barb Paultizky. So please check back to cleveland.com to read stories about the debates, the issues, and the candidates for the upcoming election. Early voting starts October 6th. Thank you, and thank you very much for joining us.